Every time I have to check the Urban Dictionary, I die a little bit inside. That's because, to me at least, it means I'm one word, one phrase, one falawsome, or even falawful, that's a good one, falawful, or one 0.8 direction, or my favourite, one bro par, the fist pump, high five, further away from the pulse. The pulse being, of course, young people, and I mean truly young people, like under 18, not us imposters. And young people are fascinating because they give us a sense of the future, and we as human beings are fascinated with the future. Today's under 18s, Generation Edge, grew up trying to sideswipe the TV. The oldest of them were just 3 when Google launched. They color code their apps, of which they have 1 million. And they delete the phone app, because who uses phones as phones anymore anyway? Edges consume culture at a phenomenal rate, but not only do they consume it, they're also building the software and hardware for a new cultural epoch too. Coding is starting to slowly creep onto the curriculum. 20,000 Raspberry Pi units are sold every day, and there are robots on the shelves of mainstream toy shops that require kids to build and then program them before they play with them. And incidentally, you'll notice that they aren't pink or blue. I like the future already. To say that young people can now code and they all know how to hardwire an Arduino would be untrue. But overall, there is a much greater emphasis on the importance of technology and knowing not just how to work a computer, but how to make a computer work for you. The upshot of all of this is that somewhere between 40 and 65% of the jobs that primary school children will do in the future haven't been invented yet. Now that is a scary fact. And in light of that fact, surely this whole event has been pointless. I could have been playing centre for BBH netball versus Ogilvy Red Ballers, which is true. And you could have all been watching One Born Every Minute, which I know you like to do on a Tuesday. Because it doesn't make sense to prepare for the future when it's so radically indeterminate, so fast-changing, so different, so new, so obtuse, so totally beyond our grasp. But then, that's not quite right, is it? The future isn't something to be viewed passively, be washed over or dragged under the current by. The future is something to be mastered and invented. We are the future in this room, whether you have a phone app or not. So the real question for us strategists is not what the future is, but how can strategy master it? In the last 5 years, the strategy discipline has already become hugely diverse. UX, social, data analysts, content publishers have all joined our ranks. The market has changed, brands have changed, but while strategy has diversified, the core of the discipline, I would argue, has remained the same. As I see it, strategy has one core strength, what I like to call one role to rule them all. And it's something that I believe transcends now and future, no matter how complex that future is, because it represents something fundamentally true about the role of brands in our society. Strategists make sense of the new. They narrate, they articulate and contextualize, they distill and reduce. In short, they simplify the complex and help brands to establish themselves as simple, digestible, meaningful constructs in people's lives. Strategy sits on the precipice between, cue strategy slide, humanity and technology, tethering what is changing, technology, to what never does, emotions, desires, and feelings. It's not a network, it's a way to shrink the world. It's not a camera, it's a social lubricant. This isn't exactly a new belief. In fact, uniting the rational and emotional has been an industry belief for years, something they might have visualized in the 1990s in a chart featuring a rather smart yin-yang. In fact, both of the examples I gave before were from BBH pitches in 1994. Of course, to simplify doesn't mean to ignore the complexity of the environment that brand ideas operate in, and will even more so in the future. In fact, it's our job to embrace this complexity, do lots, put the brand in more places, run after things, ditch the things that don't work and carry on with the things that do. Adopt what you might call a portfolio management approach to engagement strategy. The brand idea is a simple thing, the environment isn't. So deploy simplicity with complexity. If you haven't already noticed, this whole speech has been something of a rallying cry for our discipline. A reminder that although the urge to reinvent strategy every few years is strong, actually I believe that our key to inventing the future is the thing that has always made us strong, anchoring change and complexity to humanity, answering how does this new thing help people? How can it entertain them? Why should they want to use it or be part of it? Because without making this connection back to humanity, technology and new things are nothing. So to finish the sentence, the future is bright, the future is, well, in truth, I have no idea. But I would bet on strategy to be able to simplify it.
I was incredibly optimistic about this evening because I am an optimist and we never have a bad noisy thinking, but I'm humbled by what you've had to say this evening. I thought the breadth of thinking and the originality of the ideas and the confidence with which you articulated it was absolutely fantastic. And I think all of our future, if you guys are in charge, is in very good hands. So thank you all for a fantastic... Now I'm going to ask, does anybody have a burning question that you would like to ask of our fantastic speakers? Or shall we let them go and have a drink and you can corner them there and ask them more then? Should we do that? Cheers to you all. Thank you for coming this evening.